You can start with 2 hands first. Lazy rack position in kettlebell sport, you'll see them laying like this. Right, little flex in the knees. It's actually quite fine on the back. It allows the elbows to rest here on the midsection, especially when you're holding 2 bells and you've got them racked. So I come up, want you to practice that part. 3 feet, get the bump. First part, let's break it down, just do that. So just bump it up. Elbows pretty well stay in contact with your hips. Just bump up, and then come back in that rack position, so hips are forward. Can go like, so shoot them, just shoot them through. So you're holding it there, and the handle is more towards your chest. That's it, so I'll hold.
Like that. Oh yeah, so thumbs through.
Yep, like that. Yeah, so it's not a squat down, so that's a squat thrust.
Okay.
That's okay. So it's literally, you just, here with your hips, to flex and extend. Yeah, better, difference. You're not going right down.
Right, yeah.
Yep, so it's here. Right, that's good. So basically the bell should launch. Yeah, everyone's feeling that launch out of your hands? Not far, but it is. Yep, sick. Okay, next point. So in that point here, you got your launch. So as you launch it, you then have to squat under it to extend your arms. So I'm not going launch and then straightening my arms. Here, under it into a partial squat with full extended arms. Then I stand tall. Okay, just that point for now. That's it, and then up. There we go. Once you come underneath it, you've got to still keep it overhead to stand up tall. Everything should be locked out. Straight arms, straight legs. Because you will get pinged. If you aren't straight-legged at the top and you bring it down, you have no rep. And over 10 minutes, if you're out there and you're doing over 100 and you get pinged for a rep, it sucks. It sucks your soul. It just makes you go, ah. Like, but I worked so hard for that. So again, come into that rack position. It's not a squat thrust because that was closer. Then to here, hips forward. And it feels really weird to be in this position. Bump, slight squat. Now up, much better. There's a big difference in doing that lazy rack to being here going super inefficient for sport. It's literally a matter of seconds to get an extra rep to win. And now just because you're the only one in your event, in your grade, doesn't mean you win. You have to lift to a certain point to win. So if you're to rank first, for instance, is 70 reps, right, for a clean and jerk, you have to do 70 to win. Just because you're the only one competing on the day in your class and category and whatnot does not mean you win. So don't ever get that twisted, which is kind of a cool thing out of it. You still got to show up. I like that. When you're coming back from the overhead position, it's how you got it up there. So you're going to unhook it off, right? And notice as I bring my elbows down, I go, as they come down, I shoot out air. So there's a lot of breath cycles in this. I haven't got to the point of breathing on it. But just as you come down, and I want you to do that. So overhead, you go up on the toes, and the elbows come back down into hips, into that rack position. There you go. It protects you so much better when you shoot your air out on the way down. You go into that lazy rack. So the hips actually drop forward. That's it. Overhead. That's it. And now, yeah, better like that. Because here's the thing, you don't want to slow it on the way down. You want it to drop really fast. Again, it's a matter of seconds. You resisting it on the way down might mean you complete 8 minutes, not 10. Dropping it down might mean you complete 10 minutes. Doesn't guarantee you, but it makes it the path of least resistance. You don't want it being as hard as possible to get it on the way down, trust me. I'm not that good at kettlebell sport, but in the times that I've competed, it was one of the criticisms given to me is I was not dropping it into the rack fast enough. I was resisting still. So you've got to be comfortable in just letting it drop. You can come along now. Single arm. So here, we're in that rack position. With the breathing on this, you'll go, to get the bump, you breathe in and you breathe out as you hit the overhead extension. But then there's also another breathe in and breathe out point. So there's about 3 of them as you go through. So it's a real short one to do that. That's really important to get that breath back in. Because then as you come into your clean, have to have that shot of air out, because that's what actually braces you here. Then you see I'm still in that rack position. This doesn't actually hurt my back at all doing this, but it allows me to sit here and rest for as long as I possibly want or physically capable of doing throughout the set. As soon as I do that, get off the platform, you're done. So the only point to rest is overhead or rack. So they call that long cycle. So clean and jerk is long cycle, jerk is short cycle. So here. That's your short cycle. And then your other event is snatch. You have one arm change throughout 10 minutes. For snatch, the only time you can rest is up here. Can't rest any other position, otherwise the bell has to keep moving. With, like I said, with the jerk or the clean and jerk, you can hold in the rack. If you're competing with 2 bells, you have no arm changes. You've got to sit there and hold it. Now you might do 2 minutes and then sit at 8 minutes in the rack position. That will give you a greater tip of their hat than you doing 100 reps in 2 minutes and putting the bells down. It's a greater sense of achievement to actually last the 10.